I trust in you, Lord. I lean on you, Lord. You told me that you will bring me through this moment, Lord. And I ask that you take over, Lord. Fill me. Make me an empty vessel, so Lord, you can pour out your word and speak to your people.
Yeah.
Father God, I just want to be used by you. Lord, I surrender my all that I am and all that I hope to be to you, Lord God. I just thank you right now. I praise you right now because you're worthy, Lord. You're worthy, Lord. Hallelujah to your name, Lord. I magnify you right now in the name of Jesus. For Christ's sake, amen.
Yeah.
Our scripture reading for today is talking. Stand, please. We're actually going to read two different scriptures, Jeremiah 29, 11 through 14, and Isaiah 45 and 3. Jeremiah 29, verse 11 and 14, 11 through 14. When you're ready, we can read together. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall you call upon me, and you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And you shall seek me and find me, when you search for me with all your heart, and I will be found of you, saith the Lord. I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you, saith the Lord. And I will bring you again into the place which I caused you to carry away. Now Isaiah 45, verse 3. Are you ready? Say amen. I will give you hidden treasures, the darkness, hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call you by thy name, am God is. Now I will read it to you from the NIV. I will give you the hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel, who summons you by name. You may be seated. Now, I would sing a song at this point, Jeffrey, but he said I couldn't sing. and I think about my grandfather. He would say, they let you sing in the choir, I hope you sing in the way back. So, I'm not going to sing a song now. However, I am the lyrics person for the choir, so I will read you some lyrics. To surrender in spirituality and religion means the believer is completely gives of his own will and subject his thoughts, ideas, and deeds, and will to the teaching of a higher power. The song I Surrender All was written in 1896 by Justin DeVenture. The author writes that he struggled with total control of his life to Christ. Some of the lyrics of that song are all to Jesus, I surrender, all to him, I freely give. I will ever love and trust him, in his presence daily live. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all to Jesus, I surrender. Humbly at his feet I bow, worldly pleasure, all forsaken. Take me, Jesus, take me now. In 1994, John P. Key also wrote a song called Yes, Lord. Some of those lyrics are, I surrender all to you, Lord. I'll do what you want me to do, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it for you. On a mountain or in a valley low, I'll go where you want me to go. Wherever, I'm looking forward to every opportunity where you would only use me. Gospel praise and worship leader William McDowell released in 2011, I surrender all. We all say some of those lyrics are, I surrender all to you I give. Some of us are bowed down, some of us our hands are lifted. we present ourselves to you, our lives completely and totally. We surrender to you. And our answer, the word of agreement between heaven and earth is yes. Whatever you want me to do, yes. When I had gotten to a point in my life where I was desperate for the Lord. I was searching for him, where I had always had a relationship. I needed something deeper. I felt like I was dying of thirst in the desert, and I just kept searching for more. I knew I needed more. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I needed more. I needed to be more fulfilled by him, and I knew there was more. And I was just saying all the I surrender songs, all, yes, Lord, just, take control of me. I put everything I had in just seeking God, reading the Bible, praying, begging him to just reveal himself to me. Give me what he is seeking to give me. Give me more. I needed more. And I continued to pray and ask the Lord, I know you're calling me for more. What is it? Because sometimes I'm a little slow on my uptake. Sometimes I don't catch it the first 5, 10, 15, 50 times. So I need you to give me a little more. I need more. I said, I need you to show it to me like I'm watching it on a TV screen. Because I might be slow. I need you to work with me like I'm 2. And he showed me myself preaching. And I said, well, that's not it. Clearly, I need to search a little deeper because I'm shy. I don't like to talk to people. Clearly, that's not it. So I, kept praying, Lord, I need more. I need more. I'm desperate for you. And we had a praise and worship anointing service for our youth one year. And I was praying, Lord, I have to have you. I need you to take control of it. It was like being dehydrated with no chance of water. And I just, Lord, I need you. I need you to give me more. You're calling me, and I need to answer, but I don't know the answer. And I just was standing there praying, Lord, I'm not trying to be slow. I'm not trying to be difficult, and I'm not trying to say no, but I don't get it, because what I see, that can't be it. And I said, so if you're calling me, if this is really you, when Evangelist McFarland walks over to me, she'll say, you're being called. Right after I prayed, she got to me and she said, are you being called? I said, Woo. I don't know why she said that. And I continued to pray. I continued to seek God. And I said, you know what, Lord? If you really are calling me, I'm going to apply to go to Moody Bible Institute. And the deadline is over. But if you want me to preach, you're going to get me in after the deadline. And they said, you're accepted. I said, so I went to school. Still in my spirit, I felt like, Lord, why would you call me? My sister, Adrienne, she has a gift of speech. She can persuade you when I know she's wrong and try to put her point. I said, my sister Lisa is nowhere near as shy as me, and she is super smart. Are you sure you meant me? So I continued to struggle with that, and I was reading the story of Moses in class. And at Moody, they really go through verse by verse and go over every word, and you're really focusing on breaking down the scripture. And we got to the point that in Exodus 4:10, Moses said, I have never been elegant of speech, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. And I said, God, that's me. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not alone. Okay. And then I got to Exodus 4:14. And it said, then the Lord's anger burned against Moses. And it was like the floor dropped out. I said, oh, God, I don't want you to be angry. I was just playing. Whatever you want me to do, I'll say yes. No more complaints. I didn't know you were going to take this serious. So I really accepted my calling at that point because I decided, you know what, I need to do a yes without complaint. I need to do what he's asking me to do. He's made it clear over and over again. And I'm not playing with you. I'm serious. So today we're going to talk about yes without complaint. Because God has a plan for everyone's life. And there's a reason for every step of your journey. Even in the church, in the community, in the city, there is a plan. So many times we think, well, I'm just going to deal with me and I'll work on my plan. But we also have to work on our plan for the community, for our city, for everyone. All right. So God has a plan, and he's talking to us today that we need to follow the plan. We need to seek an answer for what his plan is for each of our lives so that we can begin to walk in that plan. I want to tell you about a murderer and a fugitive, but a man that was called by God, a man named Moses. I want to show you how God can use anyone, no matter what his past looks like. God used his journey to help found the foundation so we would understand when the Son of God came. From him, he wanted a yes with no complaints. Now Moses, even though I just told you earlier, he said he was slow of speech, and it would lead you to believe that he wasn't very intelligent. But actually, Acts 7:22 tells us Moses was educated in the wisdom of the Egyptians, and powerful in speech and action. Now, it's important to understand that the Egyptians were a very well-advanced society. They understood a lot. So this is not just any old guy. He was brought up as the son of Pharaoh's daughter, or as we would say today, the grandson of the king. The scriptures do not tell us when he found out that, well, we know he probably knew he was adopted, but we don't know when he actually figured out, I'm Hebrew. These people that I'm watching getting beat, they're me. But we know that from Exodus 2:11 and 12, time passed and Moses grew up. And one day he saw his brother, all that hard labor. Then he saw the Egyptian hit a Hebrew, one of his relatives. He looked this way and that. When he realized there was no one in sight, he killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. Acts 7:24, New Century Version says, Moses saw the Egyptian being mistreated, one of his people. So he defended the Israelites, punished the Egyptian, and killed him. Now, again, I told you that the Egyptian culture, they were very advanced. So when you kill somebody, you got killed. There was a consequence to their sin. So when the king found out that he had killed someone, he was going to be killed, but he ran away because he didn't want to go to the death chair. And he moved to Midian. And in Midian, he grew his hair, got married, changed careers. He was really a man that was never planning on being found again. Now, to take you a little further on the journey of Moses. 40 years later, Moses saw a bush burning. And he said, well, that bush is burning, but I don't see, the flames are not eating the bush. So he looked a little closer, and when God saw him look a little closer, he called to him, Moses, Moses. Now me, if the bush started calling to me, I'm a little nervous. So I'm sure that Moses felt a little nervous. So Moses walked over and he wanted to, okay, let me see what's going on. Now, in the Egyptian culture, they worshiped 7 different gods, but they did not worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he was not as familiar with this God. He knew who he was because we know that he went to visit his family, but he wasn't familiar with him. So when he got to the place where the bush was burning, God said, take your shoes off. This is holy ground. And as he talked to Moses, and Moses was upset, he said, don't you hear your people out here crying? Don't you hear them in distress? What are you doing? And God said, I've heard them. I know they're in distress. And I'm going to use you. Now I know Moses just felt like, now when I asked you that, I meant for you to go on and fix it. Not use me. I meant for you to just say, woo, and it's done. Not call me. So that's when Moses and God started having the conversation. He was telling him, not me. Not me. This was Moses' point of making a choice. He could have said, as we said before, yes, without complaint, but he, like unfortunately me, had asked a whole lot of questions, complained, do like my daughter, no. So he came to a point of making a choice. So now we're going to explain the gifts. He could choose this raggedy, poorly wrapped gift, wrapped in newspaper, take somebody else to help you with it. We don't know what the value may not be as great. Or you could do God's greatest plan and get the bigger gift. So he was at the point of making a choice. And many of us in life are at a point of making a choice. So he was at a point of making a choice. Sometimes when you're at the point of making a choice, people will get in your way. People will tell you mean things, and when you say, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, then somebody will stand in your face and tell you something just way out the way, and you feel like, let me just tell them off real quick. And you say, you know what, I'm trying to do better. And all of those are tests. God is saying, you said you're going to do it. Let's see. Say, well, I'm not going to go off on anybody else. Okay, let's see. So he gives you these opportunities all along the way to show that, yes, I am putting you first. Then sometimes tragedy comes, and you feel like, now I got to go through this alone. Now I got to go through this journey alone. But God said in Psalm 23:4, even though you walk through the valley of the shadow, the darkest valley, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff that comfort me. See, you got to get a word in your heart. When you get in those places, you have to get a word in your heart so that you won't be stuck at that gift, so that you won't pick the closest gift, but you'll work through it. You'll go through each step. And sometimes you got to say, you know what? I got my eye on the gift. I got my eye on that gift. Every time something goes wrong, I got my eye on that gift. When they talk to you like you're a dog, I got my eye on the gift. Moses was at that point. But Moses complained and complained and complained till finally God said, okay, take the cheap gift. Take Aaron, let Aaron, you be God, and Aaron will be your prophet. You tell Aaron what to say, because if you can't do what I'm asking you to do, you can't follow, set the direction, take the cheap gift. Go on with the cheap gift, because you won't do what I'm telling you to do. Now, that's how I saw the story. And I said to myself, I want the best gift. I want an Ephesians 3:20 blessing. I want a now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than I can ask of you, according to the power that worketh in us. And he is the power that worketh in us. So as I was studying Moses, I said, okay, I'm going to have to make it through some of these tests. Now, don't get me wrong, the cheap gift has great value. It does work. But that gift took two. Now, we don't even know what could have happened if Moses would have said yes with no complaint. We have no idea. God doesn't even give us that. We can only imagine what it could have been. But I know Moses and I are not alone. I know that many of us have argued, begged, pleaded our way out of the best gift. Even though we don't even realize that's what we're doing, we may say, Lord, I don't want it this way. Don't give it to me that way. Don't do it that way. And we need to pray in his will. Let your will be done. You pick what you want from me. You show me what you need me to do. But so many times we want to see it our way. We want instant gratification. Now let me take you a little further on this journey, because I also told you I wanted to tell you about how as a people we need to follow the plan. When I think about the night of the Passover, to me that is the scariest night in history. To think that you're sitting in your house with your family and neighbors, waiting on your friends, people you know, to die. They had a list of rules that they had to follow, to the T. No compromise, do what I said do, to the point where your firstborn, animal or person, will die. Exodus 12:3 and 13 tells the whole story of the community of Israel, that on the 10th day of the month, every man must go get a lamb for his people, for the people in his house. If there are not enough people in his house, eat the whole lamb. He shall share it with his closest neighbor, considering the number of people. If there are not enough lamb for everyone to eat, if there must be enough lamb for everyone to eat, the lamb must be 1 year old, male, that has nothing wrong with it. The animal must be either a young sheep or a young goat. Take care of the animals until the 14th day of the month. On that day, all the people of the community of Israel will kill them in the evening before dark. The people must take some of the blood and put it on the sides and top of the door frame of the house, where they eat the lamb. On the night, they must roast the lamb over a fire. They must eat it with bitter herbs and bread made without yeast. Do not eat the lamb raw or boiled in water. Roast the whole lamb over a fire, with its head, legs, and inner organs. You must not leave any until morning, but if any is left until morning, you must burn it with fire. This is the way you must eat it. You must be fully dressed, as if you were going on a trip. You must have your sandals on, your walking stick in your hand. You must eat in a hurry. This is the Lord's Passover. That night I will go through the land of Egypt and kill the first animals, the people in the land of Egypt. I will punish all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord. But the blood will be a sign on the house where you are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you. Nothing terrible will hurt you in the land of Egypt. Now all that they had to follow. They had to sit there with their shoes on, stick in hand as if they're about to run out the door. I can only imagine the children in the house. Are they putting blood on the door? What are they doing? What's going on? And I can imagine the fear of hearing screams and knowing I can't even leave. I can't go see who's screaming. I can't see who messed up. I can't see who's listening. I can imagine someone, because you know there's always someone complaining in the house, saying, I wish Aaron would have left his little brother where he ran off, coming in here, asking all these questions, making all these demands, tearing up the house. He should have left him where he was, because now we got to go through this. This is mess. All we wanted God to do was fix it. But now we're going through mess. Now I got to worry about somebody that he should have left Moses where he was. We didn't want him over here anyway. But you have to work the plan. So many times we beg God for something, but we don't want to work the plan. We don't want to go through what it takes to get the plan. We want the super gift, but we don't want the super problem. We want the super gift, but we don't want to go through anything. We don't even want to wait for it. We want it now. We want a yes from God, but we don't want to give him a yes. We want to complain all the way through it. No, I don't want to do all of this. Now you're taking me too far. You give me too much. So we have to get to a point where we truly understand we as a people have to say yes with no complaint. When the children of Israel finally got out of Egypt, they complained the whole way. They got on God's last nerve. You asked me to get you out of Egypt. I got you out of Egypt. You asked me to do this. I did this. You told me you were hungry. I fed you. Now you don't like what I fed you. You said you want meat. I gave you meat. Now the meat's not good enough. I just kill them all. And Moses said, God, don't kill them. You know, you got us here, don't kill them. But they had angered God to the point. And this is where some people say all the time, what God has for you, it is for you, and nobody can take it. See, this story tells me you can mess up the big gift. Because those people never made it out of the wilderness. They died off before God would let them go. They were lost in the wilderness for 40 years on a journey that should have taken 3 to 5 days. They were lost for 40 years because God said, you know what? You get this. I didn't kill you, but you're getting this. You're not getting this. You don't deserve it. You messed up. I kept asking you. I kept doing what you said. I kept going here. You said do this. I did this. You said do this. I did this. But no, it's never good enough. You have to also work the plan. When you ask God for something, you have to also work the plan. You have to be willing to take the kicks. You have to be willing to take the bumps. You have to be willing to look over your neighbor, and when they mistreat you, you say, you know what, I'm going to pray for you. God bless you. As Christians, we have to stop saying, I'm not going to work with this person, or I'm not going to work with that person. We have to come together as a community and work with everyone. When we see our children out here dying, we cannot just turn away and say it's okay. Enough is enough. When we see, as a social worker, we see our children being beat, sexual abuse. You wouldn't have believed the amount of stuff that we see as social workers. That to the point that I've gotten to a point that you're almost cold by it. You're almost to the point that you're like, oh, this child was sexually abused at 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Well, another case, because you see it so often. But we as a community have got to pray. We've got to build up our people. We've got to, as a vacation Bible school lesson next week, we have to fish for people. We've got to save our community. The sign says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and seek my face, then will I hear from heaven and I will heal their land. And our land is dying. Now, I explained Moses to you, and I talked to you about Egypt and the Israelites in the wilderness. And that was to tell us of something to come. That was history. But the story is the foundation, or the ground floor. The story of Passover and the deliverance of the children of Israel foreshadows a greater deliverance that was to come. God sent Jesus to deliver mankind from the slavery of sin. Jesus fulfilled the law, the final sacrificial Lamb of God, and provided redemption for all. Passover is a reminder how God redeemed the Israelites from Egypt and how Jesus provided the ultimate redemption at Calvary. Many times in life we say, I can't handle this. I can't go through anymore. But you got to remember that Jesus died. And when he died, he put his blood over you and over your doorframe. So that when you go through life circumstances, when you go through life challenges, you can stop. You can stop at the small, you can pass the small gift because you got something covering you. But trust and believe, when you get to the small gift, things are going to happen. When you get to the small gift, somebody might die. And you might say, oh God, I can't go through this without you. I can't do this. You took such and such. You took such and such. I'm done. I'm done. And you might want to grab the small gift and you might want to take it, but God is telling you, I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will be with you till the end of the world. And if I called you, I'm going to take you through it. You got to go through some things sometimes. And sometimes you got to walk when you're walking alone. And sometimes you got to say, you know, whatever it takes, whatever walking, but Lord, you said you comforted me. You said you're with me, and I can make it. And then there's a table, you're like, okay, time out. You said that you have treasures hidden for me, but I keep running into poles and tables. Where are they at? But that's when you got to trust Him. That's when you got to say yes to your will, yes to your way, yes no matter what it takes, no matter what I have to go through, no matter what they say to me, no matter who stands in front of me and says that I'm no good. That's when you got to say, when my enemies and even my foes come upon me, even my flesh, they will stumble and fall. I will tread upon the serpent. That's when you stand on a promise. That's when you say, God, whatever. And next thing you know, you're walking past the table. You're walking past the circumstances. You're walking past the lost job, the lost friends, the people who went against you, the people you thought were your friends, and they turned their back and treated you like a dog. When you actually keep saying, you know what, Lord, this is just a test. This is just a test. This is just a test. And sometimes you get to the point that you see the present. You see what's ahead. But you don't see the way to get to it. How am I get there? God, I see what you have in store for me, but I don't see a way to get there. How am I going to make it there? If I would have took that gift back there, I had something, but now I don't want to go back. I'm going too far. How am I get there? He will. If I go back to that man, he'll be with me. He'll keep me. He was there for me, but you can't go back. Because what was there, that's gone. Oh, but now I'm alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to wait. Jesus. Come on now. Right now. All right, preacher. God, I ain't having more prayers left. What you got for me? Then a song comes on. I'm chasing after you. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. And you keep looking back because you know where you've been. You know what happened there. You know what you did there, but you didn't like it. He wasn't even nice to you. Never married you. Or if he married you, mean to you. But I don't know what's there. I don't even know what's in that gift. Okay. You said I surrender all. Okay. I'll try. And you keep walking and you keep going through and you keep holding on to songs, and that's why it's good to come to church, because sometimes when you think, ooh, I can't even think of another song. I can't even think of another way. Then you go to church and the preacher says, you can make it. Yeah, you're right here, but you can make it. I got better things in store for you. You can make it. Then you start feeling, oh, I don't want that no more. He got better things in store for me. And the next thing you know, you're walking and you say, oh, I'm almost there. Come on. I know I can do this. I see it. But that's when health issues come. That's when trouble comes. That's when you go to the doctor and you expect them to say one thing and they say a whole different thing. They say the wrong thing. And you feel like the kids, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. And you're like, God, now I'm sick. I can see the present. But am I going to make it? And he said, I promise you that. Yes. All right. And my word never returns void. I promise you that. You say, okay, I guess I can make it. And in the present, there's love, there's joy, there's fulfillment. Yeah. You have reached your plan. God is showing you, hey, I told you I would never leave you or forsake you. I told you I had you. And then when you get here, you in church and they're like, what is wrong with her? She is still praising and shouting. Ooh, y'all don't know where I've been. Y'all don't know what I had over there. But I'm over here. Woo! I'm over testimony. That you like, whew, I can't believe I went through that. Oh, yes. And you like, but over here, glory to God.
Hallelujah.
Yes, I'll say yes. To your will, to your way, I'll say yes. So we got to make it to the big box. We got to go through what we got to go through. We got to go through the bumps and the trials and the tribulations. We got to go through what we go through so that we'll be prepared for the box. I have a 17-year-old. She is old enough to drive. She has never had a class. Never been behind the wheel. If I gave her my car, keys, and said, go to my car and move my car, she is going to run into a tree. She's not ready for the gift. So you go through each step so that when they hand you the key, you can move the car. But if they give you the key before you're ready for the gift, you won't understand the gift. You won't accept the gift. The gift don't work right. Yeah, you still have the keys to the car, but you can't do nothing with it without killing yourself. You cannot get the gift before you're ready. So it's not that God is trying to be mean to you, but he wants you ready. He wants you at the point where you can say, yes, Lord, yes, to your will and to your way. He has to get you to a point. He has to remove people from your life. He has to remove situations from your life. Sometimes he has to get you alone and say, I need you to know that I am God and I am God all by myself.
Yes, yes.
You don't need anybody else. I got you. He has to get you to a point that when you get the gift, you'll know how to use the gift. He's got to get you to a point that when you get the gift will be worthwhile. The gift will be something that you can build on and go to the next situation, the next step. So I need you to work to get the gift. Don't get off the plane. Sometimes it's so easy to get off the plane, to get off the journey, to step off the journey and say, you know what, this is good. But there's so much more. There's so much better than this. I tell Aurelia all the time, when I think about my future, I just have to laugh. Because when you really get in your spirit, that he's going to do exceeding, abundantly, more than you could ask or think. I can't even think where he's going to take me to. People ask, well, what do you